in this thing, we have been visiting various villages and remote areas to document the neglected heritage part, that is heritage assets, whether it be a site or a monument or a stone sculpture or an inscription. So far, we have done more than 350 villages. That is our prime activity. So now, I once again thank Bhujangarao for giving me an opportunity to participate in this program and to be a speaker for what we call archaeology of the Satavahanas in Deccan. It is a very lengthy subject because way back, S.D. Dev sir has written an article in Annals of Vandarkar's Oriental Institute, that archaeology of the Satavahanas, in which he has touched what we call the chronology, original home, all the routine format of the Satavahana studies. If you look at V.V. Mirashi's work, Satavahanas and the Western Kshatrapas or whatever it may be, that is a routine format during the pre-independence period. After that, what happened was specific studies on Satavahanas as well as Western Kshatrapas have been initiated. In this context, what C. Markabandhu sir has written a book called Satavahana Archaeology, or the Archaeology of the Satavahanas, followed by Sobhana Gokhale, many other people from Deccan College, Pune, and many other people have done part of this. Former director of archaeology has done lot of extensive study, and he himself an explorer and excavator of the sites of many Satavahana sites. It is really a matter of fact to be shared here that in entire Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, we have more than 350 Satavahana sites, only Satavahana sites. But these sites have their, some sites are Mauryan, some sites are pure, exclusive Satavahana single culture site, some are even continued, followed by the Ikshvakus and succeeding into the next dynasties. So there is a complexity. How to clearly distinguish exclusively Satavahana sites is a very difficult task. In spite of that, Dr. V.V. Krishna Sastri Garu has identified more than 50 individual Satavahana sites exclusively, and he has excavated more than 20 sites in both the states, Telangana and Andhra. That is one part. In Karnataka, if we look at the available literature, M.S. Nagaraja Rao Garu, A. Sundara, these people have done extensive work as far as Karnataka is concerned. We know that Kanaganahalli very recently, excursions were carried out by Archaeological Survey of India during 90s and 2000 decade. So that is a remarkable site. What happened is that we know that Sannati, Banavasi, these are also Satavahana sites, but this is a very extensive site where we got material culture, particularly the Buddhist stupas, sculptures and label inscriptions. For the first time we come across that Raya, Asoka label, but of the Satavahana time. So what I mean to say here is that over a period of time, excavations have been systematically bettering the understanding on Satavahanas of the Deccan from different parts of the so-called Deccan. The so-called Deccan, what we call is from the south of the Narmada river and up to the Tamil Nadu. We can call it now states including Maharashtra, part of Madhya Pradesh, even down south of Odisha, then Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Karnataka, and Kerala. We do not come across much influence of the Satavahanas, but in Tamil Nadu, we have got up to what we call Kaveri, Pakam, and Nagapatnam, we have got Satavahana affiliation. So this is what I mean to say, the Deccan, the so-called Deccan, could be identified with the geographical local comprising of the states that I have mentioned just now. Then, what is the archaeology of the Satavahanas? Is that knowing their past, that is history, then again their material culture, that is very important. So, knowing the history, we have ample evidence that Puranas have given the chronology, that is longer chronology and shorter chronology. Debate has been for more than 100 years. The debate went on, and finally what happened was during 1990s, that is around 95, etc., or 75, 1978, what happened was excavations were carried out in Telangana, present-day Telangana state, at Kotilingala. And that is a very remarkable site where the occupation starts right from pre-Satavahana side, that is even pre-Mauryan levels, and continued up to late Satavahana period only. Then what we got was, in the stratigraphical context, we got pre-Satavahana kinds, followed by immediately Satavahana kinds, which really gave to Dr. Parbrahma Sastri Garu and Dr. Raja Reddy, a numismatist, these two concurrently, independently and concurrently have given us wonderful information that Satavahanas have their original home from Kotilingala. Of course, it is a matter of further debate, and some people may accept or may not accept, but they say that this is their original home. From here they moved to Paitan, and from Paitan again they came back to Kondapur, and from Kondapur they moved to from Gautamiputra Satakarni to Dhanya Kataka, because of the fact that we have got ample archaeological evidences. That is on one hand. On the other hand, different states, Maharashtra, yes, we should respect almost all the scholars in their own way. I am not contradicting nor proposing a new theory on my own, but just a quick review because of the time factor. A quick review says, Professor Ajay Mitra Sastri, he has conducted one seminar and wrote a book called Satavahanas and the Western Kshatrapas. It is a very interesting book that really gives us the chronology, abridged chronology, that is what we call authentic chronology, and Satavahanas began their rule only from 50 BC. Earlier, some people said 100 BC. Uska pehle, some people told 225 BC. Now, finally, what we have come to say is that Satavahana started from around 50 BC, and it was also corroborated by the rule of the Kalinga Kharavela, again thick Kshatrapas. So all the corroborative evidence finally contributed to the factor that Satavahana started only in 1st century BC. That is also from there Simukha and Satavahana, Satakarni one, followed by other kings, etc., and wherein the 23rd was Gautamiputra Satakarni, like that. That is one chronology. After that, excavations at Ther, at Paitan, then again Nasik, many other parts of the Maharashtra, apart from reading the inscriptions of Western caves, Satavahana caves, and much more sites like that, though it is not this thing, Sanchi, etc., what happened was further refined, and now at least we are now able to give a time bracket of 50 BC to 225 BC for their chronology, and the longer chronology is not at all being accepted by many research scholars. Thanks to the earlier scholars, we shall not, what we call is, we don't mean that their research goes waste. During that time, by the available material, they could come to that conclusion only. Next point is that, yes, archaeology is knowing about the time and space of the Satavahana period. As I mentioned earlier, time is that 250 BC to 225, and space is that the entire Deccan. Next one is, researches were carried out since long ago, I think for the past 200 years. If you take Colonel Colin Mackenzie as the first starting point of, but during that point of time, he was never concerned about Satavahanas, etc. But later on, what happens is, yes, that is the real beginning, that is at least leading to research on Satavahanas, 1796 and 7, and continued up to recent period. And in Maharashtra, again, a good number of sites, then Aparam, Maharashtra, then Karnataka, Banavasi, Vadagam, Madhopur, Kanaganahalli, and Sannati. We select prominent sites only I am revealing. In Andhra Pradesh, more than as I said, more than 200 sites in Amaravati, Chandavaram, Salihundam, many are there. Though they have their beginnings in preceding times, but the Satavahana period, they were very much prominent. In Telangana also, we have got a good number of sites. Kotilingala, Dhulikatta, Pedabampur, then Yeleswaram, Fanigiri, Kondapur, many more. If you go to clear, we have got hundreds of sites available. But I want as a three, what we call for understanding of the Deccan. This is a very brief introduction. After that, what is the in Telangana, then Dharanikota in Kota Lingala in Telangana. Like that, we have at least more than 25 in these two states only. And then we go to Karnataka, Maharashtra, and other parts of the Deccan. We have many more, and the number is crossing the 30 as mentioned by Mac Grindle. That is one aspect. So we have fortifications. We have went on. Bhujangaravaji, I am sorry for the interruption. That mail has been sent to you. Otherwise, without the slides, it won't look nice, na? So kindly check.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, just now I got the mail. Just a minute.
You kindly open it from there. I am apologizing the respected participants for this small interruption. Yes, again settlement pattern, forts and fortifications, then palaces. We have got evidence of palace at Dhulikata and Kotilingal also. Only I am giving a clue. Satanikota is a wonderful site of the Satavahanas excavated by Dr. N.C. Ghoshji. I saw many more such sites are there. Aika Sharma Garu has excavated at Kotametta in Nellore. Now very recently, our Sri Lakshmi Garu from ASK has conducted excavations at Gottiprolu. So if we go on discussing on individual sites, what happens was that would be very time consuming. But now in the given time frame, I think slides will open. So now I am on to my computer. One moment. Sir,
yes, just a minute, sir. Just a minute. Yes, sir. Request to all of you that please not open your sound. Other all, please not open your sound.
So, senior, I am extremely sorry from my side because of the interruption.
No, sir, no problem.
Then, after the settlement, we have got dwellings. Then, town planning, individual houses. Within the house, there is an apportionment of functional apportionment of a dwelling. Then, sewages. Wonderful things are known through the excavations of a few select sites. After that, what happened? We also got one wonderful material culture, that is what they really used in their routine life, that pottery, beads, bangles, and then varieties of things, coins and coin molds and seals, ceilings, whatnot. Many things are there. Even terracotta, sculpture, art and architecture. So if we want to take any one aspect, it definitely needs, even though I run so fastly, it takes an hour. If I want to speak on the features of or highlights of art of the Satavahanas, it needs 1 hour. But given within the 1 hour, I have already exhausted, I think, 10 minutes. Up to 5 o'clock, what I will do is a very quick survey of the Satavahana archaeology through the material culture that I am now going to present before the learned participants. there are, I think, 100 slides. I can very
Yes,
quickly.
PPT is now on, sir.
Yes, can I go to slide? Are you operating or can I operate?
No, yeah, I will operate, no problem.
Please now go to one site, sir. Please open the very first one. Now I am closing my mobile.
Yes, okay. This is there, Maharashtra.
Yes, open it. No.
You can see it.
First one map hona sab.
It is opened here.
Okay, but here it is not seen, na?
You please go on computer.
Yes, I am looking at the computer, but it is not opening.
Yeah, here it is opening, sir, in front of all.
So I think I will do one thing. No, the very first slide is a map of the Deccan.
Yes, now map is open. Yeah.
Yes, this is the Deccan for the benefit of the youngsters, but not for the senior scholars. They know it well. Next one is that I think Python. Next, yes, is it Python, sir? But here it is not coming on my computer.
No, don't worry. First is there. First is there.
No. For me also to tell what I need is it is not coming on my computer. I think I don't know.
No problem. You just talk. I will show. You just talk. Python. Okay, now it is here. Python.
एक moment.
Yeah.
Yes. Now it is okay, sir. So Python in Maharashtra is considered as the very seat of power for the Satavahanas. During the early Satavahanas, it shows a bit in delay in screen sharing. Okay, Dipti ji, namaskar. Then yes, they have excavated Python. It established that it was capital city of the early Satavahanas. So you can see the structures that were laid there from Python. Next, not much information. Yes, this is again another view of the excavations conducted at Python, further attesting the fact that it served as capital city because varieties of structures we come across. Next one. Yes, after that is Nane Ghat we have to discuss about that is Pratima Ghar. There is a gallery of portraits of the early Satavahana kings, etc. Of Queen Nayanika, etc. After that is Nasik, and Nasik served as their mint, etc. People say. And then there are this Pandulena, Nasik cave. This was excavated by Gautamiputra Satakarni. Apart from this, what happened was, this is what we call religious architecture, and we have more than 100 caves on Western cave architecture now on the western coast. So I am what we call is, I am requesting the audience to excuse me for not going into details of the art or architecture, but art for some time. Next is that moving to, but there are many sites in Maharashtra. I am not doing justice because I have requested Bhujangarauji. I will confine only to Andhra and Telangana and Andhra. Then Kanaganahalli. Yes, a very path-breaking discovery as far as it is located in Gulbarga district of Karnataka, and a wonderful Buddhist, thoroughly disturbed Buddhist site was discovered, and excavations were conducted under the Poonachaji, and then afterwards is Halekatti, and after that is Jitendra Das, and many more people have participated in that one, and wonderful information have come forth. And there is a book report also, Kanaganahalli report is also available, and for the first time it gives us what we call a portrait, or what we call the image of Asoka and his wives, along with the inscription. Similarly, for Satavahana kings were also there. They are labeled. So, very clear-cut evidence. Apart from that, you come to know the panels all around encased to the stupa give us a clear picture of Satavahana art, architecture, contemporary life also. So, this is such an important site that it really enriched understanding of Satavahana archaeology in this part of the country. You can see hundreds of sculpture panels were recovered. Finally, they were mended and encased as it is. Now, if you go to Kanakanahalli, you really go to exactly first, second centuries AD. That is what you call the wonderful site as far as art, architecture, and inscriptions are concerned. Many number of inscriptions were also recovered from there, and you can, basing on the paleography, you can also estimate how the journey of the script during the Satavahana period took many changes, that underwent changes. Yes, this is Raya Asoka, a wonderful sculpture with Asoka and his wife. Next one, please. Yes, these are some of the inscriptions from the report. So clear cut, you can distinguish from the early Satavahana, mid phase of the Satavahana, and late phase of the Satavahana, basing on the paleography of the label inscriptions. I am extremely sorry, because if I could take each and individual label, justice could be done, and I could read out the small labels and inscriptions. Based on that, we can deduce something. Next one. Anyhow, report is available. Yes, these are Banavasi. You all know that Banavasi served as capital city of the 2-3 dynasties. In spite of that, during the Satavahana period, Banavasi also served as a Satavahana site. So these are some of the antiquities that were recovered from these things. You can see pottery, you can also see coins, you can also see Buddhist images, you can also see what we call the terracotta images, like that. So what I mean to say is, there is a monolithic culture during the entire period of the Satavahanas, that their structures look alike, their art look alike, the terracotta also look alike, except in a few cases that what we call, they have got contact with Greco-Roman, where the lamps I know, in and other parts, what will come is that even at there, you got that Greco-Roman impact terracotta lamps. That is the only difference. Next one, please. Yes, now I am coming to Kotilingala. Kotilinga is actually a wonderful site in Telangana. Actually, we can call it as what we call the very prime archaeological site of the Telangana as far as early historic period is concerned. And many people, including Parabrahma Sastri Garu, then numismatist Dr. D. Raja Reddy, and other people have, even Ajay Mitra Sastri Garu has also extensively surveyed and studied the material culture as well as the structural remains of the site. They come to conclusion that it was a even we could recover the Panchamarga kinds of the Satavahana, of the Mauryas there, followed by pre-Satavahana kings like Narana, Gobada, Samagopa, Sirivaya, etc. So it is already well published. After that, what happens is we come across a fortification. So based on that, archaeologists have come to a conclusion that it served as the very first capital of the Satavahanas, because Simukha Satavahana coin, followed by Shatakarni, the first coins were collected from the stratigraphy next to pre-Satavahana kings, as I mentioned earlier. So this is a clear cut. Next, another is some of the other structures that at Kotilingala, and there is a huge mud fortification, and that mud fortification, when we opened it, but Dr. N.S. Ramachandramurthy Garu has excavated way back in 1979 and 80s, and he has laid bare the brick wall of the mud fortification in between. So that is the thing. When they started actually mud fortification, bettered with brick in the next phase of the Satavahana period. Next one. Sorry. Next one. Yes, these are some of the things. Yes, what we come across during the excavation is, because it is an extensive site, but only a limited extent was taken for excavation due to various reasons. And you please look at the structures that, apart from civil structures that we have seen in the previous two slides, we come across with Buddhist structures also, Stupa, then Chaitya, then Buddhapada slabs. Many more Buddhist affiliation with the site have been revealed. And the pottery has all the varieties, redware, black and redware, like that, varieties of shapes, and shapes of the pottery because of the functional utility, varieties of shapes, right from miniature pot to storage jars, we could recover iron nails, beads, varieties of beads, many such things. Ultimately, give us Kotilingala, we also got an ivory comb from there. Like that, what happens is many number of materials recovered from the excavations give us an idea to estimate the contemporary politico-social life of the Satavahanas in Telangana during first century BC and first century AD. Next one. Yes, this is one trench laid out during 2009 and 10. Next one, Chaitya. Yes, the coins, pre-Satavahana coins are there, and these are copper coins, and legends are clear-cut. For the first time in entire Indian context, names of the kings were minted on the coins itself, for the first time, followed by Satavahana coins. Next one. Yes, this is again Shatakarni coin was also recovered there, and there are beads, terracotta beads, followed by precious and semi-precious stones. Next one, Bhujangraoji. Next one, please. Next one. Yes, these are, no. Yes, you can see varieties of precious and semi-precious stone beads are there, which really gives that people were so fashionable and the life was urban or cosmopolitan. Or otherwise, it is not possible to have these varieties of beads in different shapes and on different material. So, it is very interesting thing. Next one. Even Kotilingala has got some Roman contact also, because Roman amphora was also recovered. These are some of the shapes of the beads. Next one. Yes, these are, some are ivory beads, some are shell beads. These are what we call crystals and semi-precious agate, chalcedony, many such beads are there. These are shapes of the potteries, varieties, because all categories, all types of pottery we could come, right, from dishes and bowls, and then varieties of pottery we could recover from there. Glazed pottery was also there. Next one. Yes, iron nails. To say that iron flowshare was also there, many things are recovered. Next one. Next one, please. This is Dhulikatta. Dhulikatta is again another very important site located the then Karimnagar district, which again stands as a testimonial to the Satavahana rule, what we call in a sophisticated manner. And there lies a huge fortification inside which there is a settlement, extensive settlement. Then the fortification has all around got a moat, and coming to a mound, when the mound was cleared, a Mahachaitya has come out. The Mahachaitya was built of brick, then again encased with slabs, marble slabs brought from Palnadu region and some parts of Karimnagar, and they were carved meticulously with what we call the Buddhist symbols of the Theravada. This is only Theravada phase, no Buddha image was encountered there. This is a pure Theravada site, and you have got the symbols of the that is what we call Vajrasana, then Bodhi Vruksha, then you have got all Dharma Chakra, etc., and Nagamusulinda. Very interesting things are there. Now it is to some extent conserved. Next one. Yes, this is during the course of excavations. Next one, please. Yes, this is the reconstructed version. Next, Raja Prasad. In Dhulikatta, we could also come across with a palace. This was designated as palace by Dr. V.V. Krishna Sastri Garu. Then evidence was also by the huge walls with a passage in between, then apportionment of the entire structure into different compartments, etc. Next one. Yes, these are some of the structures, square structures. Some people say that these are the workshops. Some people say these are square brick built wells, etc. Used for workshops. Next, by artisans, etc. Next one, please. Yes, these are again variety of pottery we could come across at Dhulikatta also, on par with the other Satavahana sites from Deccan. No specificity. Yes, can you notice small gobbler pots, etc. Varieties of mugs are there, and we also have got terracotta figurines. Next. This is what we call the stupa at Dhulikatta, encased with Buddhist panels. Next one, all around the drum portion. This is Nagamusulinda, and again stupa. There is a small label inscription is also there, datable to 1st century BC. Next one. Yes, terracotta. Climax, when we want to speak terracottas of the Satavahanas, Kotilingala, Kondapur, and Dhulikatta, they stand in an order. Highly sophisticated terracotta art flourished at Dhulikatta also. Next one. You can see how stylized the entire figure. And these are actually the lamps, what we can say is lamp terracotta figurines used as lamps. Next one. These seals and ceilings from Dhulikatta and Pedabankur. So, what does it mean is that they served as the seats of power.
Sir, your voice is not audible. Sir, your voice is not audible.
Okay. Now?
सर आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही है. सर आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही है. Just a minute. He left and he will join again.
Okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now okay.
Yes, kindly open the slide, sir. Presentation जाइए आप.
Yes, presentation on है. Presentation on है.
No, no, either. Okay. Yes, next.
हाँ. Now Kondapur is on. Kondapur is on.
Yes, Kondapur is a very extensive site, comprised what can an extent of more than 100 years. Now, according to the research, it is 82 acres, but 5% of the site has been excavated in 2 or 3.
Sir, again we lost your voice.
Madam from
Yeah, please. Okay. Now okay.
Now, now regional director.
You are not audible, sir. You are not. हाँ. Okay. Sir, hello.
Hello.
I request to other all participants, please mute yourself. I request to other all participants, please mute yourself. Yes, now okay.
Hello.
Now okay.
Bhujangal ji.
Yes, please stop. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Tradition that it was Vyakarana was written by Sarva Varma. There is a wonderful, interesting story associated with Kondapur. And Kondapur is also a fortified city. And well laid out house is there. The center where mezzanine floor of the shopping area was also recovered. And there were also workshops of the artisans. As I mentioned earlier, hundreds of tons of beads were recovered. So it was a manufacturing center or it was an emporium of the pieces Kondapur served during the Shatavahana times. Next one. There is a site museum, people can go visit and estimate the lifestyle of the Shatavahanas. Yes. Now, as I said earlier, during Maheshwari Madam's period, excavations were resumed and a good number of again beads of precious and semi-precious stones, again wonderful terracotta and kaolin figures were recovered. Now you can see some people have identified it as mother and child, some people have identified with the Hariti of the Buddhist pantheon. So whatever it may be, but if you just look at the dexterity, artistic dexterity of the artisans is clearly revealed through this terracotta figurine. Next one. Yes, again, Buddhist stupas were also encountered and very big storage jars with Shatavahana Triratna symbol are there. Now, these are on display in the local museum along with the Buddhapada and again Buddhist pillars. And these are some of the varieties of the pottery that were recovered from the excavations. Only samples are there. But in museum, you have got even riveted pottery is also there. These are some of the terracotta molds. You can clearly see. As I mentioned earlier, the decorative pottery is known from Kondapur. Beads, varieties of beads are there, drum shaped and what we call amalaka shape and what not one, hundreds of shapes are there. Next one. These are earrings. Can you notice that? Very fashionable ears, very simply, they can just hold to the earlobes. So beautiful. They were recovered from Kondapur excavations only. Next one, another variety of earrings. Next one. These are some of the beads. Next, please. Time nahi hai na us vaste. Phanigiri. Again, Phanigiri is what we call a jewel of Telangana archaeology. A wonderful site, very close to Hyderabad, 100 kilometers only. Every visitor can go. Please spend at least a day there. But where you have got a beautiful Buddhist establishment, Mahachaitya, Chaitya, Sopa Chaitya, Buddha Chaitya, and Viharas, etc. So, these are some of the sculptural panels recovered from the excavations. I also stood a chance to participate in the excavations way back in 2000, 2001, 2002. That is a very wonderful site. Many number of people were directors of the excavations there, including one Dr. B. Subramaniam and Vijay Kumar and many other people who have excavated Keshava, etc. But now are located within the village only. Please avail a good opportunity of visiting the Phanigiri site, where excavations were carried out in 1950s by Khwaja Ahmad. He has brought out a small booklet also on the results of the excavations, where hundreds of Shatavahana coins, then Shatavahana terracotta, then stucco figurines, along with small label inscriptions were recovered in way back 50. Based on the potentiality, in 2000 year onwards, excavations were resumed, and very recently, 2 years back, life-size image of the Bodhisattva in stucco was recovered. If you really go there, you really lose yourself there. And the sculpture is comparable to Amaravati, and sometimes it excels the Amaravati School of Art also. Next is Pedapampur, one more site in Telangana. An extensive excavations were carried out in 1960s by Dr. V.V. Krishna Sastry and many other people were there. Can you notice how many laborers were employed in the very extensive excavations were there? Material culture, many number of materials recovered through excavations are now on display in Sri Shailam Pavilion and again State Museum. we have encountered many structural dwellings, then wells, drinking. So it speaks the hygiene atmosphere of that period. This is a brick well. Next one. Many even terracotta wells were also there. Yes, this is a terracotta ring well. Sometimes it were drinking purpose wells, and on the other side, soakage pits were also there. Next one, please. Yes, this is at Pedabankur only, an elliptical structure with a well inside. Dr. Krishna with again some pedestals in between for serving as basis for the wooden post to rest upon. And Dr. Krishna Shastri Garu has told that this might have been a religious space. We really don't know. Next one. This is, we come across the skeleton of a horse there. Yes, very interesting aspect of the Pedabankur excavations. Next one, similar evidence we have got at Nagarjunakonda also. Next. Yes, these are some of the terracottas. Even some are crude, some are in primitive stage, some are what we call human figurines, some are animals, some are bull. You see, these bulls are very stylized. Yes, again, some of the, next one, please. Next one. Yes, these are terracotta figurines only. Ram, you see terracotta figurines. Next one. They are so stylized. These are some of the bangles and earrings, etc. These are of wide variety. Next, stone and ivory, and then followed by your shell. Coins, we cannot simply say that we have a gallery of coins at, from Telangana side. Almost all the coins represent the whole of the Satavahana dynasty, except a few. But these represent pre-Satavahana coins, again Satavahana coins in variety of shapes, etc., in different material like lead, copper, and putin. All these coins we recovered from. Next, follow many things are there. Next. Yes, these are some of varieties of elephant standing, upright trunk, and many things are there. Bull was also there, horse was also there. Many number of coins were recovered from Telangana sites, particularly, which really enriched the history of Telangana. Next. Dr. Raja Reddy Garu has written a book on history of Telangana based on numismatic source. Yes, these are some of the coins. Next time we can, yes, kindly hold it, Bhujangarao-ji. Yes, can you notice that early coins, portrait coins? Some people say even at Kondapur that we got a Gautami Putra Satakarnika portrait coin, but it is doubtful because the reading was not clear at that point of time. Afterwards, we and see the one. Yes, this is a
Sir, your voice.
Etc. in Karimnagar area, which clearly attests the fact that next why do you have terracotta?
Your voice is breaking, sir.
You can. Oh, sir, now voice is clear, na sir?
Yes, okay.
So these are some of the terracottas. Yes. One from native personality. So this is a terracotta god from Dantapuram. Next one. Next, Eleswaram is also an extensive Satavahana site continued up to the late medieval Kakatiya period and Velama period also. But what Eleswaram was also a historic site, proto-historic site, megalithic site, early historic site, etc. During the Satavahana phase, we have got n number of structural evidences and Buddhist stupas and material culture also we recovered, sir. So, Bhujangarao, I am not able to see the slide. Bhujangarao, slide. Hello? Your voice is not audible, Bhujangarao.
Just a minute, sir. Just a minute. Just a minute. I will do it again.
Yes, sir.
Just a minute. Yes. Okay. 1 minute. 1 minute, please. Some technical problem, so very sorry. We wait for 1 minute only. Now it is Eleswaram.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, please talk now.
Yes, yes, yes. Eleswaram, answer with Nagarjuna Konda, because it was a site inundated under the reservoir of the hydroelectric project at Nagarjuna Sagar, an extensive site. So, we also encountered the Satavahana phase here through structures and material culture. There is the Satavahana phase followed by the Ikshvaku and Vishnu Kundin are also there. This is a wonderful site, but now we cannot see because it is under the waters. And you can see clay molds also. Bhujangarao.
Sir, your voice is not audible again.
Hello.
Now it's okay. Now it's okay.
No, it is.
Yes.
Yes, now we are now moving to the Andhra state because I wanted actually to do maximum projection on Telangana because it is a rich potential as far as the Satavahana period is concerned. Telangana is such a potential area. Architecture, cave architecture and monumental buildings are also there. But begin with again a seat of great fortification at Tanikota. Then there is a moat. There is again a navigation channel connected from Krishna River to this thing. way back in 1964 and 5, Raghavachari Garu has excavated it. Then report is available in Indian Archaeology Review 1964, 65, etc. Beautiful ivory comb was recovered there. Not only ivory comb, number of terracotta and seals and seals, and the real course of research at or excursions at Dharanikota back in 1797, Colonel Colin Mackenzie that place for some other purpose, thoroughly under misappropriation by the locals with awareness on the historicity of site. We cannot blame them at this moment. So next one. So Dharanikota excavations were carried out to differentiality. When the site was started excavating, slowly one after the another, one stupas, votive stupas came out. All these are from Dharanikota site only. Next one. Yes, this is when Colonel Colin Mackenzie visited Dharanikota stupa site. It was a scenario. It was not from the excavation because of the tillage of the what we call bricks from the stupa and what we call removed those art pieces. Some period of time until 1816s were carried there and during time sections were long gap. And you can see of state report is available by other source material by then Anamika and even in Indian Archaeology Review about all those. One Mr. Gupta was in charge of the museum. He has written a book called Sculpture of the Amaravati Museum. This is Dharanikota. Yes, these are and other material necklace. Yes, these are some of the trenches. Next one, the brick well, then again stones and all other, even some of the historic material followed by what we call crystal caskets are also there, gold, small leaves, etc. were also recovered. And the interesting thing is that Vajrayana sculptures were also next one please. Ceiling, there is one seal also there. Yes, next one. These are some of the panels that were on display in museum. Buddha life as well as contemporary life as well as are single panels. Part of the railing vertical. Again, you have got roundel. Again, you have also got that coping stones wherein the and Vidya Daheya has written a wonderful book on narrative. This narrative was in Amaravati was given ample place. Next one. Vertical pillar in half. On the top of it, you bring upper side of it was known as Dhammakada. This belongs to Mahayana phase where Siddhartha is seen in human form on horse. He is slowly moving out of his house. So this is very interesting. It has been narrated in Lalita Vistara. Next one. Next one, please. Yes, this is a typical Amaravati stupa model. You see the stupa and then 5 ayatasamas, a typical feature of the Andhra Supas. All at the entrance there is a Torana and no entrance, and in between you got all the Buddhist symbols on the portion of the Amaravati Stupa, and these panels are now in Museum, London. Next, Bhujangarao, yes, to show there are in Amaravati only there are 225 small inscriptions from that Western caves. If you just refer Tudor's list of the Brahmi inscriptions, you come to know how many inscriptions are there. As a sample, which is available from which record from Naga, I am showing the audience so I apologize the audience not doing justice for the topic. What happened was due to only one I have to complete now, so I gave just a slice of the entire period. So I thank Bhujangarao Bobadaji for giving me an opportunity to at least make a small presentation on a very big topic of Satavahana archaeology. After that, not coming only to one particular geographical locale of the Deccan. So thank you, sir. I thank you and the learned participants.
Thank you. Now, I want to request the participants of our course, if there is any question, then please ask. The participants of our course, if they have any question, then please ask. Please unmute to yourself if you have any question and ask.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, which 45 sites are present in Tamil Nadu, Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, belonging to the ancient and early medieval era?
Now, it is only pure Satavahana period only, sir. So, Vishalji.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Hello. No. Vishal, cut kar di. Hello.
Yes, sir. I can hear you,
Is
sir.
it audible, Bhujangarao?
Yes, sir. You are audible, sir.
Yes, no. It is only purely on Satavahana phase only, not early medieval. Early medieval begins with 5th century AD onwards, so I didn't touch upon. Please. Any other scholars, sir?
Dipti Patel madam requested to you that we would love to visit all these sites with you.
Thank you so much, sir. Most welcome. I am available. But beforehand, kindly give me. Now I am located at Vijayawada, sorry, Hyderabad only. Kindly inform me well in advance, at least a week, so that I cannot move out, and I feel it is a chance to accompany you, interpret.
Sir, we lost your voice again. Hello? Hello? Please unmute to yourself. Please unmute to yourself. Okay. So, yeah. Sir, please unmute to yourself. Shivanagiriti sir, please unmute yourself. Hello, sir. Yes.
Okay.
Now you can please.
Sir, any other clarification, sir?
Yes. Okay. So, but because of these technical problems, we lost many words. Yes, Vijay Kumarji, you want to ask anything? Yes, please.
Yes, sir. Sir, we are getting.
Vijay Kumar garu,
Yes,
namaskaram.
namaskaram, sir. Sir, we are getting a megalithic burials wherever we
Yes.
get Buddhist sites. Is there any link for that, sir? Shatavahana period or like that?
Yes, continuity, na? No, what happened was many of the Iron Age sites transformed, continued to be Shatavahana sites. Their contribution is a lot for the urbanization. During the, what happened was the megalithic phase was known as second urbanization, na, apart from industrialization. And then you take, for example, Dharanikota. At Dharanikota Mahachaitya, when excavations were conducted, underneath the Mahachaitya, the archaeologists could come across Iron Age burial, one Iron Age burial. So it clearly gives an idea that there is no gap in between Iron Age and the subsequent early historic phase, at least during the 4th, 5th centuries BC. And it continued. But Shatavahana phase and early history, Iron Age, what happens is that if you take that Muktiala example, dolmenite cists at Muktiala, those were megalithic burials, continued even up to 2nd century AD, and there are labels like Louis Sri, etc. So what I mean to say here is that Iron Age or the practice of the erecting burials of the Iron Age continued even up to the end of Shatavahana period.
Sir. Yes, even in Panigiri also, Panigiri and Nagamisa are getting a megalithic burial.
Yes. You have excavated noticed burials towards the western side of the Mahastupa. Yes. There are a few burials, not only here, sir. We also have got at Pavaralakonda, Totlakonda, Bhavikonda also we have got burials, but they are not megalithic burials of the early historic period of the Buddhist Vihara. But here it is a very clear evidence at Panigiri. Iron Age burials are located on the hill where Buddhist establishment is also located alongside.
But we are not getting any concrete evidence of
Shatavahana
period in the burials, no?
Sir?
But we are not getting any concrete evidences of Shatavahana period in the burials culture, no? Megalithic burials, excavation.
Yes, sir. Yes.
But it is not directly connected to Shatavahana period.
No, not directly connected. But only such example is there. For example, that Muktiala, how can we, those burials, some people say that it was later day incision. But some people say it is continuity based on the pottery that recovered from Muktiala burial. The pottery of the Shatavahana period were recovered from the burial when they excavated. So they corroborated that the practice continued even in the 1st, 2nd centuries of the Christian era. That might be because coexistence in rare occasions.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Vijay Kumar, sir. Sir, I am coming to Tirupati on 16th and 17th. I will meet you.
Welcome, sir. I will definitely.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, thank you. Thanks a lot, sir. It's a really amazing lecture. But I ask really sorry to you and to all the participants because of technical and this internet issues. We lost some important words. So after making this as our YouTube session, we will share the link with all of you so that you can again listen it and again read all the these slides. So I am asking very sorry to all of you. We will stop here. And thanks a lot, sir, Dr. Ishwan Nagireddy, sir, and this Cultural Center of Vijayawada, Amravati. We are thankful to all, and we'll keep in touch always. Thank you.
I once again thank and the respected participants. Thank you so much. Well informed.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thanks a lot.